SVP is mixing things up, and digital TV, it'll never be the same.
SVP TV, we're family. We're gonna make you fall in love with SVP.
Download the SVP app today on Roku, Apple, and Fire TV. Watch us. You know why?
We're gonna make you fall in love with SVP TV.
Tune in to Talking Law with Attorney Daryl O'Neill and the special guest host, Attorney Jerome Payne. Live TV talk on your digital device on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Download the SVP TV app right now. Check us out every Tuesday on Comcast Cable, Channel 17, 8:30 p.m. And we are live every Friday on Facebook Live, 6 o'clock in the evening. You've got a question? Our attorneys have the answer. So let's talk law with Attorney Daryl O'Neill on the SVP TV network.
Welcome to Talking Law with Daryl O'Neill. I'm your host. I got my main man with me, Jerome.
What's up, Daryl?
Man, another day in the neighborhood, man. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Well, you know, this is a good, lovely day, man.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Every, I'm digressing, but
Yeah.
one of my
Yeah.
good friends, we were talking,
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about a guy that had died.
Oh yeah.
And then he said to me, man, everybody got to deal with that dash.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. He said, when you get on this earth from the day that
Yeah.
you born,
Yeah.
you got to figure out that dash.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
And by the way, I lost my baby brother this week.
Yeah, man.
On Wednesday, Daniel Webster Payne.
Man, sorry to hear that,
The
man.
baby man.
Yeah, man, that's-
he left us.
That's rough, man.
Got his wings, like we say in the
Got
church.
his wings. Got his wings, man. Sorry to hear that, man.
Thank
I
you,
hope your
brother.
family's struggling and staying strong in there, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. So we need to say Facebook, Roku, Fire Stick, Apple TV. There's one other, man.
And the SVP
SVP
TV network,
app. Oh my goodness, an
that's
app.
the one that you really need to be aware of.
Man, you get
can
that app, dog,
download
you
it.
for real, man.
Yes.
So yeah, we have all those things for you. Shout outs to our viewing audience. Start off with California as always. West Coast. It's great, man, to have somebody that far away.
For sure.
Somebody
Yeah.
call me and had a conversation. That's great, man.
That's wonderful, Daryl.
Welcome to Little Rock. There's a viewing audience from Little Rock. Welcome to West Memphis. Welcome to Shelby County. Welcome to Mississippi. And Mom, welcome to the great state of Missouri.
All right. You still there, Daryl?
And I keep telling you, man, I ain't never
She
letting
ain't
her go.
going
I
back.
ain't never letting her go home, man.
I sure don't blame you, man.
So last week we were talking about the restoration of people's rights.
That's right.
And really wanted to get back on that because, and really want to prelude as much as I can until I can get me some judges on to really explain that process to the audience.
That's good, Daryl.
Yeah.
You're going to build up the excitement, and then we're going to bring the judges on.
Bring the judges on and let
Put
it
the cream on the cake. That's good, Daryl.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. I like that.
So this restoration of rights thing is, we had 100 and maybe 10 or 111,000 people voted in this last election.
Okay.
That's not a lot of people for, I think there's 600,000 registered voters in Shelby County.
Okay.
And Shelby County has about 1 million and some change people. So it's 1 million plus. Most people, call Memphis and Shelby County country. But here's the thing. It's more people in Shelby County than it is in Atlanta. It's more people in Shelby County than it is in St. Louis.
Okay.
So some of these bigger cities that we know, we have as many, if not more, people than those cities have.
I didn't realize that, Daryl.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy. Yeah.
So, but it's always weird that we have that many people, and it almost seems like everybody.
well, Daryl, and that's good because that's usually the cities that we're compared with. We're compared with Atlanta, and we compare it with St. Louis because of the progress that those cities have made, while our city has been left behind, so to speak.
Right.
It's because, Atlanta has had black leadership for ages, all the way back to Maynard Jackson.
Right.
And I'll tell you about that later on. But in St. Louis has also had a black mayor, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, the first black mayor was one of my classmates, actually. He wasn't my classmate, but he graduated from SLU Law School also.
Okay.
But yeah, and he was the first black mayor.
Okay.
I think Bosley may have done, I know he did one term, I'm not certain if he did 2 terms. But then Bosley I think Bosley may have been the first black mayor.
Okay.
And we're talking about maybe 94.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in the 90s.
Yeah.
So, and I know we had the first black mayor here around 92.
Well, I graduated from law school in '93, and so Dr. Harrington. We had even before then. J.O. Patterson served as mayor for a short interim period because he was the chairman of the city council.
Okay.
All right. So, and I'm trying to remember. I think it was Mayor Chandler, Wyatt Chandler. Wyatt Chandler stepped down in order to become a judge.
Okay.
And so that left the city council chairman as able to elevate to mayor. So we had a black mayor before we actually got one by the vote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think 92 was when Harrington was elected.
That may be right, but I was so bogged down in
Yo,
92.
you was handling some business in 92.
Absolutely, I was trying my best to get my letters.
Yeah.
My J and my D.
Your J and D. Yeah. And so, and you say that because you think about that, right? It's 1 million people here.
Yeah.
1 million plus people here. There are 600,000+ registered voters, or 500, 600,000 registered voters.
What you mean to tell me there's 1 million people, but only 600,000 of them are registered voters?
That's my understanding.
Where are the other 400,000? They didn't even bother.
Well,
to
now you also
register
got
children.
You got some children
Okay,
involved in that,
okay.
and then you have some felons involved. In
Okay.
that.
Okay. That's good. Yeah, that's good. That's
and
real
you have
good.
some people that have been convicted of crimes,
Right.
that are involved in that,
And who are barred
who are barred from
voting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what we want you to start understanding is, just because you're convicted of a crime doesn't mean that you no longer have any rights.
That's right. Well.
Well, it says you do. It
well-
says you do not. Because when you're a felon,
Well, you don't have them until they're restored.
Right.
Because they're stripped from you.
Correct.
And look there, that's also some language that's required in order to strip you when they render you infamous, isn't it?
Right.
So some people who have been convicted of felons may not necessarily be infamous. with it.
yeah, there are some people that are convicted as felons. Okay, so what people don't know, and that's the reason why, if you make a mistake, right? If you make a mistake,
And we all
we all human.
have made them.
Yeah, to be, my pops used to say, man, to be human is to err.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we all make mistakes.
That's right.
So if you make a mistake, and that mistake is grave, and it may cost you to get a sentence that's greater than 11 months and 29 days, which is a felony.
That's right.
You can negotiate some stuff with the prosecutor.
Currently. Because
No, it was a little tougher before.
It was almost impossible
Well,
before, wasn't it?
well, that's where it's a misnomer.
Only the governor at that time could restore you. Wasn't there before the rules started to change somewhat?
Well, that's a misnomer.
Okay, cool.
So what I mean by that is, when I say negotiate with a prosecutor, I really mean that the prosecutor, whether the prosecutor agree or disagree with your lawyer, you still have the right to go to the judge, and the judge can also do what they call judicial diversion.
Well, wait a minute. You're not saying the individual can go but the lawyer,
The lawyer representing-
the lawyer
representing
representing
that individual.
because the way you said it,
Okay.
you sounded like, you know what? It sounded as if you were saying, because your lawyer couldn't agree with the prosecutor, you can go to the judge.
No.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry.
meant,
Yeah, yeah.
you right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that's not what I meant. Because
Right.
if you got a lawyer, nobody's going to talk to you.
That's right.
But your lawyer,
That's right.
can negotiate. If your lawyer and the prosecutor can't agree on your sentence,
That's right.
because you have committed this felony.
That's right.
You admit that you committed this felony, then your lawyer can then file a request to the judge for what they call judicial diversion.
That's right.
And if you are a first time felon, you know, depending on what those charges are, you can get judicial diversion, and at the end of your term, that felony will be wiped off of your record.
That's right, because it appears to looks like probation,
Right.
But in reality, it's not really probation, because at the end of probation, you still are a felon,
You're a felon,
right? But if you are able to convince the judge, and the judge is gonna hold a hearing too,
Yeah, they will. They will.
Yeah.
I mean, what happens is, you know, you do a request to TBI.
That's right.
To determine whether or not you are eligible.
That's right.
For diversion, and then once it's determined that you're eligible, then a judge will normally give you diversion on your first offense.
That's right.
You know, I mean, most of the judges, I don't know. I guess there probably are judges out here that would not do it, but most of the judges that I've appeared for in Shelby County criminal court have been receptive to judicial diversion on a first time offense.
That's nowadays there.
Yeah, that's nowadays.
Yeah,
I'm talking
but-
about over the last maybe 15 years.
Yeah, maybe then, but before then, it was a lot more difficult. And also there, I don't know if it still exists, but there's something called pretrial.
It is.
Diversion too.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
There used to be a way that you could negotiate. You know, basically, you call it pretrial diversion, and if you could accomplish some of these different tasks, then and did those tasks within a certain period of time, then they would not even take your case to trial.
That's right.
And actually, over the last maybe 5 years, that had been done away with.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm pretty certain that it will probably come back.
Okay.
You know, I was able to use that.
Yeah, I've used it a couple of times.
I've used
too.
it a couple of times.
Yes.
But over the last 5 years, it has not been available.
Is that right? So
Yeah. Maybe just a little longer than that, because I know I negotiated a case maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and we were able to negotiate pretrial diversion.
Oh, great. And then also there used to be something called merchant diversion.
Oh, okay.
Are you aware of that?
I was not.
Where you could, if someone was convicted of shoplifting, not convicted, but someone had been arrested for shoplifting, the person could pay the amount of money that the items cost and get what's called merchant diversion. And that would be similar to pretrial diversion, where it would never appear on the
Yeah.
court's docket
Yeah.
because you've satisfied the merchant.
Right.
So that was
And that
another
died
way
too.
to.
No,
That's gone too.
That was gone too.
That's right.
Because I mean, you know, I represented a couple people where they said that they stole some money or they shoplifted or something.
Some soap.
Some ridiculous thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
shaving cream.
Yeah, we're gonna give somebody a misdemeanor.
underwear, something like that.
We're
Yeah.
gonna give them a misdemeanor over that.
Right.
Come on now.
Right.
So these are things that you could do and put in place to potentially
That's right.
keep your rights. But what ends up happening, man, unfortunately, some people think that it's a good thing to have a felony on their record, and they don't. Younger people, they think that it's some kind of what is that letter that you get? Not the scarlet letter, because that's a bad letter, but it's kind of like a
badge of honor.
A badge of honor.
To
Yeah.
have a felony on your record.
Have a felony, to be arrested, to do jail time.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, you know that.
If you're a budging rapper, they give you street cred. Huh?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
and so that was something at some point.
Yeah.
But as you get older, you start realizing, damn, I can't vote.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't carry a gun.
Right.
I can't
And-
protect my house.
And you can't join the military.
I can't join the military.
You can never get a decent job. You
Yeah.
couldn't be a fireman, couldn't be a police officer, couldn't be practically all of the jobs.
Yeah,
were
there's a lot of
closed out
jobs that
to
you
you,
cannot
wasn't
hold.
Yeah.
But guess what? You can be
What's that?
a lawyer.
Yeah, with a felony.
You can be a lawyer with a felony. You can. You can be one if you have one. You can't be a lawyer and get one. That's the difference.
So
The opportunity for you to be a lawyer, a felony doesn't prevent you from having an opportunity to be a lawyer unless that felony was something for money.
some ethical violation or some
It's theft.
it's the honesty or
yeah,
something like that. Yeah,
it's money.
You're right. Your
Yeah.
honesty.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause let me just
Wow.
tell you, I was in law school with a guy that was convicted away from law school after he took the bar, after he passed the bar. Because the bar, they don't care about any of that stuff. You just have to let them know.
Well, I was going to say that.
Yeah, as long
I was going to say that.
As long as you disclose, they could care less.
I was going to say that because I'd read recently about how they were cracking down on people who had not fully disclosed
If you don't
their background.
Yeah, if you don't disclose, that's an issue.
Right.
But as long as you disclose,
Right.
they don't. That's not an issue.
Really?
No, no.
Okay.
Because one of the things the bar asks you, have you ever been arrested, even if it's been expunged? Expunged says as if it never happened.
That's right.
And then Tennessee, there's a Tennessee statute that says, I don't have to, and it's criminal to even for somebody to even have that information.
That's exactly
So
right.
why do you have to disclose it to the bar?
But you still have to do
You
it.
do,
huh?
you do.
Okay.
It says it in the application.
Okay.
And, so it says that in the application, even if expunged.
Okay.
But think about it. If you've been arrested but not convicted, what differences does it make? But the bar wants you to disclose
That's what
an
I was
arrest,
that's what I was just telling you.
even though there's no conviction.
Even juvenile offenses
Yeah.
have to be
Yeah,
disclosed as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I don't know because I don't know that. But
it has to be disclosed as well.
so
And tickets and stuff too.
Well,
Remember?
tickets, your financial ability,
Right.
I mean, now I tell you something else that you won't be able to practice faster than anything else if you don't have your financial well-being. If you are in bad debt shape, trying to start practicing law, they will either not let you come in or
Well,
they
how,
will.
how would they know that?
You got to disclose it. They do a credit
That's what I'm
report.
saying, but I mean,
You got to disclose it.
wait a minute. Disclose what? That I can't pay my rent?
No, they want
that
your
my
credit
car note's behind?
No, they want your credit report.
I mean, but credit reports are screwed many times against African Americans.
Yeah, but all you got to do is explain it.
So what's the score? 600, 500,
They actually
450?
look at the report itself.
And try to see
Your
about
debt-
your
your
debt.
debt history.
Okay, I got you.
They don't not about not paying and all. They try to see about you being behind,
Okay.
who you owe, how many times you got a history of being behind, those types of things.
What didn't that come up with Brett Kavanaugh
I don't
about
know.
how he was able to pay off his house and some other things? He had some loans, quite a few
Yeah.
loans.
Yeah, I don't.
You wasn't aware of that?
Nah, I didn't.
Yeah, it came up.
Yeah, and the thing about that is, when you and I think about it, you say, but it makes sense.
It makes
because
it makes
you're dealing with
it
clients'
makes
money.
absolute sense.
And think about this: how many lawyers that have been disbarred
And that's
for touching the escrow account?
that's what it's been about.
Yeah, because the escrow account, man, you could have hundreds of thousands of dollars in your escrow account and have $20 in your operating account, and you got a bill that you got to pay.
That's what it's been. That's
And
what
so
it's
you
about.
will say, man,
Yeah.
dude, I got 100G over here,
Yeah.
and so people will touch. And man, if you put $1
Yeah.
in an escrow account inappropriate,
Yeah.
that will get you disciplined.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's strict scrutiny.
Yeah, yeah,
You know.
yeah.
So I said all that to say this: you can have a felony and not be allowed to vote, but you can have a felony and be allowed to practice law.
But all of that stems from racism because they were attempting to disqualify as many black people as they could from being able to vote.
Wow, that's deep, man.
That's the whole idea there, to strip someone for life from being able to go to the polls. That's what it was designed to do.
Well, they ain't got to do that now. 2/3 of the people that
They ain't going anywhere.
Yeah. 3/4 of the people that are able to vote don't vote.
That's true. That's true.
So I ain't gotta strip you, and you ain't gonna vote.
But every now and then,
Every now and then,
they show up.
you can get me
Hey,
hype.
man, yeah.
You can get somebody hype.
Every
Yeah.
now and then, they would put somebody by the name of Barack Obama on the ballot,
or Trump.
and folks stay in the line all day long. I mean, even doing early voting, the lines were there, and on election day.
Yeah.
So what they do is they have tried to do. I mean, if voting wasn't so important, why would they keep putting up obstacles to voting?
Yeah.
Voter ID. It sounds like it's what?
Early voting poll.
Yeah. It sounds like it's not. That doesn't seem much. People should have their ID, but when you think about it, there are a lot of people who could not afford to go to the station, sit there, and take their pictures because they didn't have transportation. So, the law came about where the states who were requiring voter ID had to provide transportation for those people to go and get ID. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yes.
That makes sense, though.
Yes,
That makes sense.
because that was one of the issues. Because it's poor and disadvantaged people of color who are most affected by these kinds of laws. Where you can't get an absentee ballot unless certain things happen, and then people could not bring your ballot back to drop it. The drop boxes for absentee ballots and all those kinds of things.
Let me ask this question, man. And
hindered.
this is an ignorant question here. How many people that watch Love and Hip Hop or the Housewives of whatever that chose not to vote?
Oh, there! Wow, that's cold, man. Why you gonna do us like that, man?
Well,
It's a great question,
because I mean,
but it's a telling question.
It is, 'cause
That's why
it's-
people put the priority at.
right.
Yeah.
So if the question becomes, do I need to get home in time to see this 7 o'clock show, or 8 o'clock, or 9 o'clock, whatever time the show is, versus standing in line to determine if I want Jerome Payne in some kind of political office?
But we talk about it all the time. You gotta show how this impacts people's lives. We are now seeing it more so than we've ever seen it before. Because look,
you think more so?
we're seeing it more so now how important it is because we allowed Donald Trump to become president of the United States.
Well, Tennessee can't never stop that.
Well, they can't.
Tennessee ain't gonna never, because
They're-
the 2.5 million people that are, Tennessee, I think is 6 or 7 million people, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Right.
And the 2.5 million people in the two largest counties that are Democrat are not enough to overcome.
It hasn't
know.
it hasn't been that long there since the Tennessee was Democratic. It ain't been that long ago. You don't remember that? You don't remember John Ford, Roscoe Dixon?
Oh, that's Shelby County, man.
I mean, but I'm talking about, but they were in Nashville.
No, but
they ran Nashville.
No, but that's Shelby County now.
Listen to me. They had Nashville under control because they voted in a block.
They don't have enough in the block. They don't have enough in the block.
You don't think so?
They right to this day
Because
they don't have enough.
because we've
It
had-
is a super majority
now,
now.
but we've had several Democratic governors.
I only know of one.
What, Ray Blanton? Was Ray Blanton?
How long ago was Blanton?
I can't remember. Right
Bredesen
now.
is the only one that I know of, and that was
No, but Ray Blanton was a Democratic governor, I believe.
how long ago? 100 years ago?
No, it ain't been that long ago. I'm telling
You
now.
went around-
within my lifetime.
In your lifetime?
There've been a couple of Democratic.
Okay,
you know what? We can look it up.
All right. All
So
I
we
know,
can get to factual.
All I knew
but
that
there
there
have
was
been
a,
several Democratic governors.
all I know is there was one that was a borderline Republican Democrat, and that was Bredesen.
Okay.
That they said Bredesen really was, closer to, he was basically in the middle of the road.
And that was recent. That was in the last, what,
12 years ago.
12 to 15 years
Yeah,
ago.
12
Because
years, yeah.
remember, that's when they came up with an all-white Supreme Court, because Redison did not put DeArmond Bailey on the court because the people in Shelby County just about were revolting again. But he came out better because he has the court. He has the whole courthouse named after him now.
Yeah.
You know, you see what I'm saying? Forever and ever and ever. But
Yeah.
but Tennessee is still sitting there now with an all-white Supreme Court for the last 15 years.
Well,
Because
it ain't-
Bredesen
it ain't gonna
did
get
not
no
put-
darker now.
Well, well, listen to me. It will, because everybody that I know, I told them on those Supreme Court justices to vote replace. You know, they ask you retain or replace. Replace them all, and then you'd have to put a black person on there.
Well, I tell you what, you ain't have enough people because
No, you didn't.
it
You
was
didn't.
70. They got 78% of the people said,
Remember?
what is it? Retain.
Retain.
Yeah.
Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. So what we have to do is start emphasizing it, that it's not fair for us to have all the people you said in Shelby County and Nashville and not have a person who looks like them on the Supreme Court.
Now, and I got to tell you now, I think there was a total of 300,000 people that voted statewide in this last election.
Okay.
There was enough people to actually replace. If Shelby County would have, it was only 100,000 people voted in Shelby County, but if that 110,000 that voted in Shelby County, there is a chance that they could have replaced.
That's exactly right. But someone has to lead the charge.
Yeah.
Someone has to say it.
Yeah.
Look, we're going to get rid of the Supreme Court justice so we can replace him with an African American.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching the show. We'll see you back next week. Again, we really want to try to get you as hyped as possible.
Yes.
So, hey, somebody need to be calling in. Y'all tripping, man. It's for all this free legal advice. Somebody need to be calling in. All right. Thank you for watching the show. We'll see you next week.
SVP, SVP TV, we're family. All your needs. SVP, SVP TV, we're family. We're gonna make you fall in love. SVP. We're gonna make you fall in love. SVP TV.
Not right.
Looking for something new? We thought so. SVP is mixing things up, and digital TV, it'll never be the same. Download the SVP app today on Roku, Apple, and Fire TV. Watch us. You know why?